no more than 29 minutes. In turn, he's promised to have our friend DJ John Smith cut my microphone off if I go too long. I don't think he'd really... But don't worry, I have a backup. We've been photographers always have a backup plan. I want to thank George's parents, David and Bonnie Buell, for their generosity in making today possible. They even promised... Wow. They even promised to stop nagging George about taking out the trash, at least for today.
He's moving out.
You told me to mow the lawn this morning.
Mow the lawn. I would also like to thank Sheena's mom, Dendit, for literally traveling halfway around the world to be with us today. We are honored by your presence, and we know your husband Ray would be here if he was able to. Sheena, you look absolutely stunning today, doesn't she? Our entire family wants to thank you for packing your life into two 50-pound suitcases, moving halfway around the world to a place you'd never been, and marry George. At some points, especially in his long-haired phase, there were those that thought that very little hope of George finding a wonderful woman such as yourself. You have proved the critics wrong. You have a kind spirit, a heart for the Lord, a love of family, and you even love to have your picture taken. We couldn't find a better match for George if we tried. And although we don't have a long history with you, we're excited about what lies ahead. In hopes of building a future together, Lily has made a list of some things we'd like to do with you. Lily? Come on up. What would you like to do with Sheena?
Go to a Red Sox game together and meet Wally the Green Monster.
Excellent. What's next?
Take Sheena to Crystal's Kitchen.
That's one of our favorite Thai food restaurants. Very good. What's next?
Help her see a moose before Aunt Linda and Uncle
And what's next?
Go to the aquarium together.
Awesome. And lastly?
Play with my future cousin.
I'll give him a year.
Thank you, Lily. Sheena, we look forward to making many memories with you. And now, Fatso. I realize most of you know him as George or Fred. But he and I have affectionately nicknamed each other Fatso and Talzo.
You see how tall he is?
It's always fun to watch people's reaction at weddings when I yell out, "Hey, Fatso!" to get his attention. As you can guess, I've received some pretty intense stares and gaping mouths in response, except for this guy, of course. We met shortly after I started dating Dorothy back in 1996. He was a mere 14 years old. Since then, we've shared many adventures together as far away as Panama and as dangerous as Ice Gulch. We love to eat sushi anywhere we go. We love to go camping and hiking as often as possible. We love to explore abandoned buildings against the advice of many. We've even been chased through the woods by an overzealous security guard yelling at us to, quote, "Get down on the ground, you're all getting arrested." To say the least, it's been quite an adventure. George and I also enjoy a good prank. One of the best I pulled on him took place on Thanksgiving several years ago, before George was gluten-free. We had finished our meal and had 2 pieces of pie remaining, 1 apple and 1 pumpkin. George had laid claim to the pumpkin. By pure coincidence, and unbeknownst to George, and Bonnie and Dorothy. Richard and Rosanna gave me a 3/4 of a pumpkin pie when David and I dropped by that afternoon to deliver some kindling. When we arrived back at the house, I announced that I was going to have another piece of pie. A few minutes later, I returned to the room with the one piece of pumpkin pie, or at least George thought. In one motion, he leapt off the couch, yelled, "That's my pie!" and dove face first into the piece of pumpkin pie whipped cream in my hand. This occurred while Bonnie was yelling, "That's George's pie!" I was yelling, "No, it's not!" And David was in the corner laughing his head off. I'm pretty sure Dorothy was just confused by the whole situation. Sheena, watch out for George's pie. I can tell you that Blackthumb Studio would not be without George. I asked him to photograph a wedding with me back in 2007, and never imagined we'd still be shooting together 7 years and over 200 weddings later.
Wow.
We have photographed weddings in 9 states, 2 countries. We've experienced a little bit of everything. 15-hour wedding days, reality TV crews, grumpy priests, cameos in a silent film, a groom being tossed in a pool in his tux, a 30-minute father of the bride speech, brawls among guests, and even a wedding party running into the ocean in their underwear. You name it, we've probably seen it. I think one of the keys to our success, though, is how George and I complement each other. While I'm the loud, obnoxious one who tries to sell ice to the guys who sell ice, George is the quiet, sleek, consistent technology guru who keeps us running. Without him, I would have a computer that's always broken and a camera that's always an automatic killer. Sheena, there's some things you need to know about George. First, he's gluten-free. I know you already know that, but I'm just getting used to being reminded of that, as Bonnie will do that on a regular basis. Second, he is an endless source of Simpsons quotes. Just on it. Okay. Third, he's an expert at the most annoying noise in the world. We practiced together, so I know. And fourth, he does a spot-on imitation of Milton from the movie Office Space.
I used to have a desk by the window and I watched the squirrels and the birds.
George Buell. In all seriousness, Sheena, you should know that George is an incredibly loyal and dependable guy. You can always count on him to be there. He's trustworthy, honest, and has a great sense of humor. And you'll always have your own personal IT guy. George, I couldn't be happy for you, brother. Thank you for always being there when I needed you. It is an honor for me to be your best man today. Please raise your glass with me. George and Sheena, the adventure has just begun. I pray that God will guide you each and every day, and that you will never miss an opportunity to live life to the fullest. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Mazel tov, right.
All right, folks, how about a Jeff turn to give a nice big round of applause? That was an incredible speech.